Well, hello. It's Gary here with DarKnight Trading, coming to you today with one of our upcoming strategies that we've been kind of working on over the weekend. Actually, um, it's actually a fairly simple strategy. Runs on NinzaRinko, 200/5. If you want to see, you don't have to have the tick replay on. I was just trying to get better data to show, but tick replay really doesn't work very well with NinzaRinko. So what you see here, you can almost take a lot of it with a grain of salt. We're still kind of forward testing this. So far, it looks very promising. Um, Again, we've only been forward testing, you know, for a little bit now, and we're seeing something around the ballpark of a 84% win rate um, with default settings. So, no, I did not curve fit this or anything like that. I just literally had some default settings going on here. You can't really see it, but I'm running it live so we can actually see what's going on. But here we are waiting 1 bar after a pullback. So the idea here is there are two different conditions that can take place. There's a pullback condition or a trend flip on the NinzaRinko. So what you see here is a trend flip. It would have actually taken the trade 1 bar later, not on this bar, but 1 bar later, just the way NinzaRinko's render on NinzaTrader. But it would have taken this trade up here, and it would have taken 50 ticks of profit. Um, and then you have a trend flip here, takes 50 ticks of profit, 50 ticks of profit, so on and so forth. Now, where things get really interesting is if we see a pullback, right? So we had trend flip. This right here is showing that it hit profit target. This is more than likely a loss. But it would have seen a pullback. We would have went into the next trade. It would have went into the next trade here. Here's a pullback. If the candle has a wick, that's a pullback. Um, Pullback here. Back here, it would have likely lost this trade and went to the next trade for the trend flip. But pull back here, and so on and so forth, right? So it's not going to win every trade, but it's going to win a lot of them. So profit target currently on these settings, it's a 3-to-1 risk to reward ratio. It's odds are not really in the favor, but there's a saving grace to this. So it so far, take this with a grain of salt. So far, this has got about an 84 to 85% win rate um, on our forward testing. With that said, that means that a 3-to-1 risk to reward would actually be successful. Anything above an 80% win rate would be successful at that point. Now, we have our take profit at 50 ticks, stop loss at 150. You might get to see a trade go on here in just a second. We have our initial quantity is 1 contract, so it's trading 1 MNQ. So aiming for $25 take profit on each trade. Now, if we stop out, it's going to take 3 contracts on the next trade to try to recoup what it lost on that first trade. And it'll martingale up a second time, a third time, fourth time. It won't martingale up any further than the fourth, right? If you've got 4 consecutive losers, which again with an 85% win rate, 84% win rate, it's fairly unlikely that that's going to happen. Um, so the idea is within, you may see 1 or 2 consecutive losers. You shouldn't see 3 and 4 if you have that high of a win rate. It's very possible still, right? Um, it's like flipping a coin. You flip a coin, 50, 60, 70, 1,000 times, and you take some subset of that 1,000 times, even though you had 500 and 500, take some subset, you know, and it won't be completely 50-50. So very same principle happening here. So it's not likely, but it can happen. Um, just a bad day at that point. But so far in our forward testing, we're seeing fairly positive results. Um, but it's all up to the individual trader how they decide to configure this. Um, but that's what we're running right now is that 3-to-1 risk to reward. So far, it seems to be all right. Um, Now this NinzaRinko is not really showing the true story, so don't ever trust a back test on a NinzaRinko. Um, you can do a replay, you can do a forward test, and that's really what I would trust over a back test on Ninza. It's just the way that they're rendered and calculated. It just doesn't work very well with just a normal back test. Without further ado, this should be launching sometime fairly shortly. I've got the other stuff that I need to launch this week, so hopefully within the next week or two, this will also be part of the fully automated strategies. Um, Thanks for watching. I know this is a short one, but this is a very simple strategy. So this will be part of the full automation suite uh, over at DarKnight Trading. Um, Thank you for watching. Have a good day. Bye bye.